Welcome to the Greener Gifting Gang podcast, the show that delves into the reasons we love to choose, wrap, and share gifts with each other. Hi, I'm your host, Eve Kale, founder of Gift Wrapped by Eve, and I'm on a mission to help you experience the joy of gift giving while also considering the planet. Each episode, I'll be sharing ideas or interviewing guests who will help inspire your choice of gifts and how you present them. Whether that's for your own gifts or products you create or sell in your small business, will help you consider how to make small changes that can help your gifting be a little greener. Welcome to the Greener Gifting Gang podcast, Isabel. Thank you so much for coming to talk to me today and being a guest. I know it's always really interesting to talk to people who've coming from gifting from different points of view. So I know that people are going to be really interested to hear what you've got to say. Tell us a bit about what you do.
Sure, thank you, Eve. So I'm Isabel Mack. I run the Party Kit Network. We're a social enterprise which supports a network of almost 600 people across the globe, mainly in the UK and Australia, who run party kits for the local community. So a party kit is a box of reusable tableware. It gets lent out for the party and then returned to be used again. But through that, we've managed to avoid over 1 million single-use items, and we hope to avoid many, many more.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's obviously something that you, when in the line of what you're doing, you're obviously going to encounter people talking a lot about the kinds of gifts that people end up giving as part of a birthday party. I mean, it's a massive industry, isn't it?
Yes, I think the gifts and also the party bags are kind of one of the key returning topics of conversation at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think it's a real challenge for people to say that I might want to do something differently. So that is, it's really lovely when people are talking about it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hot topic, isn't it?
So I've got 2 children. So my eldest is 8 and my youngest is 3. And for the last 3 parties for my son, the eldest, we've asked for no gifts. I did find this really hard to start with. And so he had his sort of first proper birthday party when he was 5, when we first came out of all the lockdowns.
Yeah.
And it's a bit mean to say no presents, especially as he's just got a new baby sister. So that's a bit much, isn't it? So I didn't say anything in the request, and he got lots of gifts and everyone was really generous, but it was massively overwhelming for him. And so the following year we sat down and we talked about what else we could do. So with him, as he was turning 6, we agreed that he would ask for no presents, but people could contribute to a single main present. And he picked a Hot Wheels set. So from money that people donated towards his main present, he could then pick from Facebook Marketplace what turned out to be quite a lot of Hot Wheels sets you can get for your money on Facebook Marketplace, which I did regret. But it gave him more ownership over what happened. And we also talked about the wording that I put in the party invites. And each year since then, I've let him pick the thing that he's saving money for. So the last 2 years, actually, he's done experiences. So this year he picked tickets to Legoland. And what I've also, the way that we worded it in the invite, that made it clear that it wasn't expected that people contribute to the main present. And I also put a money limit on it as well, in that I didn't want people to then feel awkward about, oh, then how much should I put in the card? So we did that as well. So it's kind of based on the Fiver party concept, which you might have come across.
Okay, yeah. It's such a difficult topic, isn't it? Because gifting is something that we love to do in the UK. We're prolific gift givers, and it's coming from a place of love and generosity. But I think what you're highlighting is that actually it can be really overwhelming for the person receiving those gifts.
And he probably spent about 3 days opening the presents. So we didn't open the presents at the party. We did a soft play party, so they were very active, and we saved them for when we got home. And it was just, I think also, like, it's lovely that children, when they get something, want to play with it. So then, because he had 25 children to his party, it just took a long time to get through it all. And I think it's also, like, for me, it didn't sit well with me, this kind of expectations that I have a party and all my friends give me stuff, and quite expensive stuff as well. Like, the Lego sets are not cheap. And I just felt like there could be a better way to do this. So that's when I found the Fiver party concept, and we followed that.
Yeah, so the Fiver party, I don't think I've come across that specifically. Can you?
Maybe it's American, but the idea is that everyone, instead of bringing a gift, donate up to £5 towards a joint gift.
Okay, so the generosity, the idea of giving something is still there. It's just dressed up in a different way.
And what I've found is actually we get a lot more homemade cards. So I think maybe that's the kind of like how you balance out this I'm giving you something that's special from me
Yeah.
feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you feel, and what have you noticed about what your children are learning about the kind of the art of gift giving? Because it's, what would you say if somebody was sort of saying, well, isn't it nice for them to go and choose a gift for somebody?
Yes. And yeah, my kids absolutely love that. And we still go to parties where we give gifts. And also there's lots of other occasions. So like, for example, with Father's Day, I let them pick what they're going to give their dad. And for birthdays, they still, like family birthdays, they still get to pick. So there still is that element of sharing. And I think I really focus on when they are giving a gift, like really getting to think about what would this person like not just what you like, but what would the other person like. I really focus
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point because actually there are loads of opportunities. Like I said, we're prolific gift givers. There are loads of different occasions when it's somebody who you perhaps know better, then
Yes.
you have more of an opportunity to go through that education side of things, don't you? It is difficult. The party side of things is, it can be overwhelming. The party side can be overwhelming as well as the gifts, can't it, for the
Yes.
children? Because there can be so many of them.
I think that's also why it was important to me. I didn't want people to feel excluded because they couldn't afford to buy my son a gift, and that's not what the celebration was about. His birthday, about having a fun time together, not about being able to afford to buy him a present. So that was also an element of it as well, irrespective of the kind of impact on, well, him feeling overwhelmed, but also how much stuff he might
Yeah.
actually need.
Yeah. Yeah, really good point actually. So do you personally enjoy choosing gifts and gift
Yeah.
giving that is outside of parties?
Historically, I have definitely been a prolific gifter, and particularly I didn't have children till much later. Like a lot of my friends already had kids, and I love giving them stuff. But as a parent, I'm like, oh, that was too much.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we've had to strike a balance. And so within our immediate family, we no longer do Christmas presents. The children still get presents, but we don't do presents within the adults. And it's taken like a massive weight off the whole Christmas readiness experience. However, I do still really miss the gift wrapping. Um, there's like elements of it I miss, but I also don't miss having to go, oh, what are we going to buy Uncle So and So this year? So yeah.
Yeah, that is sometimes it's the we've just been talking about in my Facebook group actually about that helping from a business point of view, helping people make those buying decisions because coming up with something that feels different and getting inspiration is often the reason people find it a bit of a chore, even if they do like the idea of giving. So that's interesting to hear. But you say you miss actually wrapping the gift.
I missed. So we've done the no gifts at Christmas for that's probably the last 2 years, and I did miss that kind of like part in my Christmas preparations, which was wrap all the things. And I'm quite an early wrapper, like I like to be prepared. And I was like, oh, I didn't have that kind of like moment of activity where I like picked out wrap and ribbons and things. So I did miss it, but overall, it's still probably better without.
Yeah. I do. I mean, it can be. I think often what I hear people talking about is they look forward to the wrapping at Christmas and then they get into the wrapping and then they realize how long it's going to take because 12 months between big wrapping sessions, they've kind of forgotten how actually it can get quite tedious after a little while. So, do you enjoy the process of wrapping outside of Christmas more?
Yes, it feels more special. Yes, definitely.
How would you choose to wrap a gift at the moment for, say, a birthday?
So a mixture. I either tend to reuse paper that I have already, or it might have come as like packaging in a parcel, so like the brown paper, or I do have rolls of brown paper I've bought, which then sometimes I get the kids to decorate, and then we'll put ribbons on. I've become quite a fan of fabric wrap, particularly for tricky shaped things. The year that my son turned 5, he asked for an Octonauts Octopod, which, for those who don't know, is a big orange, like playhouse, and then it has extending octopus arms, so it's quite a tricky shape if you haven't got the box. And I wrapped that in a superhero themed pillowcase, and I felt so proud of myself that I'd come up with this. Like, I managed to find a pillowcase that was big enough to fit the octopod in, and he was just as excited to open it as if I'd wrapped it in paper, and it saved me a whole heap of challenging wrapping. So yeah.
Oh, what a fantastic idea. Like really creative, fitting with the kind of gift and who was receiving it. And yeah, saving you time. I mean, we did have an octonauts phase here, and I
Yes.
do remember that octopod, and it is a really awkward shape.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I'm amazed. That sounds amazing. Yeah. And really, that's a really good creative way of doing it as well.
I kind of looking around to see what I had, and I'd happened to be, because I lend out bunting as part of my party kits, I've been making some superhero themed bunting out of a secondhand duvet set that I'd got off eBay, and so I still had the pillowcase from it, and I was like, oh, this is like the perfect size.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love that. Brilliant. Do you have any gift memories that stand out for you? Because I mean, it sounds like you're creating some memories for your
I think my most cherished present was the year I turned 5 when I got a bike. So it was a red bike with a Paddington the Bear bell, and it had a box at the back with a little puffin on. And I had been desperate for this bike. So all the kids on our street used to ride up and down together, and I still only had a tricycle. And I had to wait till my 5th birthday to get my bike. And then I finally got it. It was amazing.
Oh, fantastic. Do you remember how it was wrapped? Was it wrapped?
It was either a sheet or a blanket, and then
Yeah.
had like a bow and things. Yeah.
So that's interesting, isn't it? I mean, we kind of sometimes when we're being a bit greener, we're actually going back to like
Yeah.
the more traditional way of wrapping things with just a bow or a sheet or not trying to necessarily wrap everything in paper or yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah.
I don't think, because you can get extra long wrapping paper rolls now, I don't think that was a thing in the 80s. So I think you had to find other things to wrap it in.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, good point. Dear, I don't think I've ever wrapped a bike myself. I think I definitely must have either cheated or just wrapped a bow around it.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good idea. Yeah. And how about a special gift that you've chosen for somebody else? Does anything spring to mind?
I think one of my gifts I'm most pleased with was a birthday present for my sister, which is quite hard to buy for sometimes. And a couple of years ago, she just finished renovating her house. And so I found this, it's a bit like a garden lantern. It's quite large. You put a candle in it. It's got like pretty cut out pattern on the outside. And I got it secondhand. And I thought, oh, will she mind that it's secondhand? But I gave it to her and she loves it. And she has it in the lounge. And every time I go and it looks great, I'm like, that was a good present.
Excellent. So do you try and look for things that are not necessarily that are pre-loved when you're first buying gifts now?
Definitely for immediate family. So my children know that almost everything they get is secondhand. And where I can for my husband, often he'll get secondhand things as well. But I haven't done it as much for extended family or friends, but we have started to do it sometimes. It's particularly for friends who've got younger children. I might have gifted them something that my son had. So, for example, he had these 3 little vehicles, which he absolutely loved when he was kind of age 2. So when my friend's son turned 2, I put them in a little box with a little note that said, like, my son really loved these and we hope that you'll love them too. So kind of acknowledging that they are pre-loved and secondhand, but that they're given from a place of love.
Yes, yeah. It's a really tricky thing to navigate, isn't it? Because I
Yes.
think there is still that slight the view that you should buy something new, but actually I think what you're doing is fantastic because we're starting to make those changes, and if you start from now when your children are young, you're going to be encouraging them from an early age so that it becomes that's the norm.
Yeah, that's what I hope. I think it will be harder once there's more external influences, but maybe the rest of the world will be catching up by then anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is some of it is, how we feel other people are perceiving us. If we know that actually what you've chosen is really lovely and it doesn't matter that it isn't completely new, there is still the concern or the worry about what somebody else might be thinking. So I think, we've got to do it slowly, bit by bit, haven't we?
Yeah, I think also you have a feeling for knowing like which of your friends might be more receptive to it than others, and what type of things it's more acceptable to gift. So for example, with books, often it's more acceptable to give a pre-loved book, whereas other things people might not appreciate it in the same way. So I think like just making very careful decisions. And also I think by putting the note in with the cars, with the vehicles that we re-gifted, we're kind of like being really upfront about it. We're not trying to hide that these are secondhand items, but we're also trying to show like that we're trying to pass on the joy.
Yes, yeah, really good point. Yeah, fantastic. So I think you've explained so well the ways that you are being greener when you're considering gifting and gift wrapping. So you've been an amazing guest for the podcast, Greener Gifting Gang. Fantastic. And what we're really trying to do on this podcast is inspire people to really consider the planet when they're choosing gifts and wrapping them. So I think you've explained it really well, some of the changes and choices that you're making. So I'm hoping it's going to inspire people.
So, but also appreciate it's a journey. So I've spent 6-7 years working towards this point, and I absolutely did not feel comfortable gifting secondhand items 6 years ago. It's been a journey to get to this point, and to see what happens when I did it and talk to other people about it. Like, it's a journey, so don't expect to be like the greenest gifter overnight.
Now, what would you say the one place for people to start if they're wanting to make a change?
I'd start within the family, and if you have children or you have nieces or nephews, I'd start there. Like, children are the most receptive to this, and also on the whole they have incredibly strong understanding of why we need to make these changes. So talk to them about why you've decided to give them a secondhand book, or why you've chosen to buy them a toy from a charity shop instead of going to the high streets. I think like children, they understand why we need to do this change.
Yeah. Thank you. That's really helpful. Well, I've loved having you on the podcast, and thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. But before we go, just can you share a bit more about where people can find you if they want to find out about what you're doing with Party Kit Network?
Yes, so you can find us at partykitnetwork.org, or on most of the social media we're at Partykit Network, and on our website we've got a map which has all of our members listed, and you can go on there and find if there's a party kit near you, and connect with them so you can borrow it for your next party. Or if there isn't one near you, then we've got loads of help to help people get set up.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I'll pop all of those bits of information in the show notes so people can come and find you, follow what you're up to. And yeah, thank you again for talking with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to the Greener Gifting Gang podcast. For free resources, head to giftwrappedbyeve.com/freebies and follow Eve on socials at giftwrappedbyeve on Instagram and Facebook.